Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Backbeat. I am Eric. I did that backwards, but that's okay. I've got my friend Alice with me here today. Alice, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. Well, let's jump right in. I'm sure you've probably answered these questions before in a couple of the other interviews I've seen you in, but talk about what got you into playing the drums.
Well, I mean, I was always like surrounded by music from a young age. I used to go dance lessons for 11 years, believe it or not. Not much of a great dancer, I will admit. But yeah, and I was surrounded by music and I went from, dancing to like actually wanting to play the music rather than like just dancing to it. And I remember being like 10, 11, 12 maybe, and I was like begging my mum to like for his drum kit. I just really wanted to play the drums. So I mean, I did tap dancing, right? And that was my favorite. I really liked making the rhythms, and there's a lot of connections between drums and tap. And I was like, I like this, but I want to do this on a drum kit. And yeah, but we couldn't afford both drum lessons and dance. So I didn't actually get drum lessons until I quit dance. Like, I realized I was not very good at dancing and I lost interest. And the second I quit dance, I was like, Mum, I want drum lessons. So
There
yeah,
you
and
go.
yeah, yeah. There
That's
was a lot of
awesome.
inspiration about when I was about 12. I mean, I got my first phone about the age of 11 or 12 or something like that, and then that's when I really discovered like music. And I listened to like a lot of music, but one in particular at the time was 21 Pilots. And I used to watch concert videos on YouTube, and I sat there and I'd like watch the drummer and I'd just watch him play. And then I tried copying him, and that made me want to drum more.
That's awesome. Yeah, he Josh is an amazing drummer. He's one of my
Oh, it
favorite
is.
contemporary, drummers.
Same,
Absolutely.
big inspiration.
Yeah. Were there any other influences other than Josh with 21 Pilots?
Um, it was mainly Josh. I went through a big like hyperfixation of just 12 pilots and like for like months I only listened to them. But who else was there? Bit of Fallout Boy. Andy Hurley from Fallout Boy. I really liked like the big ones like Dance, for example.
Yeah.
I covered that song actually. That one really made me want to play drums because you could really hear that drum beat. Um, yeah, there was there's a couple of others in general, but I think 21 Pilots at the time was the big one.
Absolutely. And what a like I said, what a great drummer. And I always thought it was neat how the way that what he plays like adds to the composition of the song and the way that it feels. It's
Yeah,
not just like the backbone of it, it's the part of the whole. It's so neat. Oh,
yeah, exactly. I can agree. Yeah.
awesome, awesome. And then I know you're playing an E kit. What are you playing?
Got a let me try that again. I got a millennium. Yes, it's a pretty decent kit. I've rearranged it about 50 times because the way I put it together to the manual, it puts like one of the crashes really far, and I was like, you know what? I want to change that. So I like took it all apart and put it back together the way I wanted it to be. Um, it's a pretty nice kit because I used to have a different kit back when I first started. It was like a beginner's kit, so it was like the basic. Uh, I really don't remember the brand. But yeah, so it was quite of an upgrade from that because it's got like an actual like hi-hat like pedal, like the actual stand, not just the pedal, like the actual hi-hat moves, like as if it was on an actual kit. So that's quite nice.
Nice.
And then I early this year, I then bought myself a double bass pedal, and because it comes with a single, but then I got a double bass pedal, and I've added that to my kit as well, which is quite nice.
Excellent. Excellent. And how's that going? Developing that skill? I'm not very good at
Um,
it.
yeah, it's it's a bit of a slow process, but I'm getting there. I really worked on getting like what's it called? The control. So when I was playing, they're evenly spaced beats because my left foot is like significantly more weaker than my right, pretty much. And so I wanted to make sure that like if I'm doing 16th notes with my feet, that I actually want like the left foot actually on the beat and not like displaced slightly. So I'd literally stripped it all the way down and I'd practiced like doing the right foot, doing the left, doing both of them together. And so it's kind of getting along now. So I've started like learning songs to it. I'm currently practicing The Downfall of Us All by A Day to Remember. And that's got quite a nice bit at the beginning, quite recognizable piece. And I'm actually getting there now. I can actually like play it up to speed, so that's quite nice.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I kind of came to it really late. Um, and like just in the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm like still like just try to work with it a little bit, but I'm not putting enough time into it to get really good at it. But I'm old and kind of set in my ways sometimes. So I'm like, how much am I going to use this? Fantastic. So now your YouTube channel, you've got some great drum covers on there, and you do some creative stuff. I loved your uh the drummer versus the editor, I think is what you called it, where
Oh
you
yeah.
intentionally tried to play poorly, which I know is hard to do, and then made him try to make it all work. What was well, let's start with just that. What was the inspiration for doing that? Because that was super fun and unique.
It's pretty much basically we were just talking and I was like, I need other ideas for the channel. I want to, stay original, stay creative, and I want to do something like maybe a series or something that is entirely different to what other music channels are doing. Because I know a lot of people do like shout outs and stuff like that, and it's like that's great, but I want to do something different. So we were just talking, and I literally just said, wouldn't it be really funny if I purposely played bad for you and then you'd have to edit it? Because like he has to edit like mistakes because I'm really lazy. So I take 3 takes with my drum covers and I don't really take more than 3 unless I really have to. So I have to 3 separate angles. And I think if I make a mistake on this angle, just don't put that angle in the video and do a different angle where I do not make the same mistake. And I think I was talking about like one of the covers I did, and I think I said like I think I like dropped my drumstick or something in one of the takes. And I was like, have fun with that one because I dropped the stick. Then I messed up again. And he was like, oh, I swear you're doing it on purpose. And I was like, well, I'll do it on purpose if you want. And then he went, you know what, that'd be such a great like actual video idea. And I took that literally and I said, we're gonna make it. And that's where that came across. Yeah. It was quite fun to do, actually, but it was really hard. I made the mistake the first video to do the bad version first and then like the actual full cover afterwards, which entirely threw me off because I'd just learned the song like for a couple weeks, and so I then forced myself to play it wrong to then play it right again, and it went really pear-shaped.
It's hard when your brain knows to stay on a beat, and and kind of how to make that smooth like you do, and then to try to do it wrong, so it because it
Yeah,
messes with your head, right? Because it's the opposite of what you've programmed yourself to do rhythmically.
yeah,
How hard was
exactly.
it?
It was really hard, but it's not as hard as because I filmed another one. I have another one coming out either like really soon. I can't remember. We haven't done it yet. Uh, Um, but the first one wasn't too bad because it's a song I'd only learned recently. This
Okay.
next one is a song I actually learned like 3 years ago. And so I've been playing it for that long. I actually have like muscle memory that like I could probably do it with my eyes closed, sort of thing. Um, to then have to mess that up was even harder because I'd practiced the song for so long that I was like, how do I mess it up? Yeah, so it's actually much harder than it sounds. Because it sounds easy, because it's pretty easy to make mistakes. I make mistakes almost every cover I do. I just hide it. Um, but to purposely make a mistake is a whole nother story.
Right. Yeah, the ones that happen naturally, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm human. But
Yeah.
to do it on purpose, so that's super fun. I think it is creative. I enjoyed it so much. I was like, okay, how is he gonna make this, make this work?
Yeah.
So it was really entertaining. I thought it was very creative. So what got you into wanting to do YouTube videos? So from playing drums to making YouTube videos with it, what was the inspiration for that?
Well, pretty much because I've always wanted to like be out there in the world of music, but I have no idea how to branch myself into there. I'm not very good at socializing, and I lack a lot of confidence. And I was struggling to find people, bands, or just like any opportunities. And I was a bit like stumped. I didn't actually know what to do. And that's when I thought I might as well, post online. Because if I could post online, create a following, and eventually get attention, I might be able to get opportunities, whether they're like online opportunities or in person. Um, Either is fine, but I just wanted to like do something because I started learning the drums. I started learning a couple of other instruments, and I didn't want like that to go to waste because I wanted to do something with it. But I was so scared to like put myself out there that I needed a way to do that. But not only that, it's also because I really struggle with teaching myself things. I mean, I have a drum teacher and I go have drum lessons. They're great and I can learn there. But there's only so much he can teach me before I have to branch out and become like my own self as a musician of my own, not just someone that plays the drums. Um,
Right.
I didn't know how to do that. I hit like a massive stump, like lockdown, and I was just, sitting at the kit, and I had no idea what to do. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to practice, and I thought, if I can structure myself to learn a song, play the song, record the song, post the song, I might get myself into like a little routine in order to improve myself and also find myself because I really struggle if I don't have structure. And so when I was lacking the structure when I was first starting out, I really didn't know what to do. So I thought if I turn to social media, give myself almost a routine. That's why I post
Yeah.
once a week because that's my routine.
Yeah.
It then helps me you know, provide with that.
Well, that's good. That's what we do too, is that once a week thing. That's like our commitment to the channel. Everything
Yeah.
else, if something needs to give, the other stuff will kind of fall to the side and we'll keep doing that. And so like we plan it and it, I need like that kind of structure. So it's
Yeah.
helpful. And I do find that it does help you develop some stuff because you'll find something in a song that you're like, okay, wait a minute. What are they playing in this? And then you get to
Yeah,
try to,
exactly.
yeah, to break it down and figure it out. What was the first drum cover you did on your channel?
It was actually stressed out 21 Pilots.
Nice, nice. I think that might have been the first 21 Pilots song that I heard ever. And
Yeah.
then since then I've become a huge fan of their music. Got to see them play live once. That was super fun. Um,
Lucky.
what's your
Lucky.
favorite? This is totally not drum related, but what's your favorite 21 Pilot song? That's a tough question, I know.
Oh, I got quite a few. I really enjoyed their album Trench. I think the Hype has always been one I really liked. But I also really like their old stuff as well. Oh my God. What is my There's quite a lot. I think I could probably name quite a few, but the Hype is definitely one I really enjoyed. I also like Cut My Lip. There's also like I really like Ride as well. I really like the drum groove in that one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're probably my top three at the moment.
Yeah, it's so hard. Those are tough questions because it's like, oh
They
my
are.
gosh, I like so much. I think like Trench was my favorite overall album.
Yeah, same, same,
And
same.
and then but then there's so many songs on the other albums too that I'm like, oh man, this is so,
Yeah.
so good and so fun to listen to and so deep and meaningful too. And I love that and how they're always being creative. And they're such a neat band uh to listen to and to see live. We saw them on the Trench tour, which was super, super cool.
Nice.
Loved that. Um,
Nice. Lucky.
so we'll keep it on the 21 Pilots thing. If you could ask Josh Dunn any question about drumming, what would it be?
Um, got to think. Hang on. I'm not too. I think I'd probably ask him something about like because I know he's a self-taught drummer, and so I'd probably want to ask him things like what like motivate him to keep going because I know self-taught is probably harder than it is being taught by a teacher because at least when I first started out he could tell me what I was doing wrong and how to do all the sticking whereas I know that he just kind of listened and learned and watched so I'd probably ask him a question on the lines of how that was and how he kept motivated and how he never gave up that sort of thing.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't really thought of that. I hadn't thought of that being self-taught, like all the motivation has to come from within because there's nobody being like, did you practice this week? Are you ready for your
Yeah.
lesson? That's a very good question. Now let me think, let me see what is my next question for you for you. Let's see. Um, I could definitely talk about 21 Pilots like all day long. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, because I enjoy their music so much. Trying to think of what I've asked you about your channel and what your first song was and all that. Okay, so here we go. I think I've got one. So you talked about like wanting to open up opportunities, for yourself there. And have you gotten other than connecting with our awesome community, which is hands down so exciting in and of itself. Um, have you gotten to play with anybody there in your area or
Well, I haven't really had much luck at the moment. Um, when I was at college, they
we froze up?
had a jazz band, and I wasn't part of the jazz band. I stood. Um, oh, typical. We back? Cool.
Yeah,
Dope. Yeah, yeah, we got it.
I
It's
think we
probably
got
my
it.
Wi-Fi. Anyway, yeah, we got it. Okay, so there was a jazz band that I wasn't actually aware of back in when I was at college, and I got an email like one random day. I was like just sitting in biology and I got an email and it was like, you play drums. We need an emergency drummer to play at this like showground thing last minute. And I literally like never played any of the songs before and I had to wing it by ear as well. They just kind of played and then I just had to like fill in the gap sort of thing, just like whatever groove fit. I stuck to like the same swung groove, but it worked. And that was it's the first and only ever time I've ever performed. It's quite great because I had 2 days and I didn't know anyone and I didn't even know what I was doing, but it worked. I got it. Got a free shirt out of it as well.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, I did like join a band, but then they kicked me out like instantly without telling me because they decided that their friend they decided to have their friend instead. But instead of letting me know that like great jam session we had, great talk and stuff, but we decided to have our friend instead. They just decided to ghost me for 2 months, and I was like, hey, are we still a thing or like what's going on? And they were like, oh yeah, sorry, you know, just decided not to, and I was like. Right, cool, thanks. So I never
Thanks
got
for
any
letting me
opportunity.
know.
Yeah, I was a bit like, oh, cool, thanks. Yeah. When I was in high school, I kept getting promised all these opportunities by like the teachers, like the actual music teacher was like, yeah, we'll get you busking, we'll get you performing. And I turn up to the school after I've left, and I was like, hey, I'm here for like the the end of term like performance. And we're like, what performance? She decided to not inform like anyone else that that's what she was planning on doing. Decided to not turn up on the last day. And so I turned up with it was just me and a guitarist. There was no one else. And yeah, we got turned down. And I was like, oh great, okay, never mind then. So yeah.
Gracious. Yeah. And it sounds like the band situation, you don't want to work with people that that are like that anyway. Um, that that's just a red flag for what could be a stressful working relationship with people. Um, Opportunities will come. The more you play, the more opportunities that you'll get. I know I've talked with a handful of people that they've gotten gigs, based on their YouTube channel, and people being able to go there and see what they're doing and where they're at in terms of ability. And so always opportunities that will open up for you. What's your ultimate goal with your drumming, Alice?
Well, I just kind of want to like I either want to be like a session musician or I want to create my own music. And I haven't got the session musician bit done yet. That's probably like a future me thing once I gain more confidence in myself. But the making my own music thing has actually started. My editor is also a musician. He used to be a front man for a band that went on for 5 years. They don't do anything anymore, and so he stopped doing music for a little bit until he met me, and then I've just kind of like sparked motivation again. So that's kind of cool. Um, and so we've been doing music things together in a way I can develop my confidence because like the first time we did anything, I just point blank refused because I was like, nope. But I'm getting there. And so we have done we did a duet together a couple of months ago. We did Iris the Goo Goo Dolls. That was something we did together and he did the guitar for it and then we both sung. Um and what else we done? My 1 year anniversary, he helped me with that. I did most of it, but there is some harmonies in there. I think I could be lying. I think there's some harmonies in there that's actually him. I believe so. But
Nice.
we are currently starting writing some of my like original content. Because I wrote lyrics. I've been writing lyrics for about 3 years now. And so we went through my long list of lyrics and we found one that actually was pretty much complete because half of them are incomplete. And so we took that and we wrote a melody together. So we've got a chorus, we've got first verse, we've got a pre-chorus. We just got the last bit to do. So that's pretty nice.
That's cool. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear that, and I can't wait till that's finished. And you're doing a great job. I think I've probably been I think I found your channel probably within the last year or so, and just the where you were at and where you are, now as a musician, you can see that steady progression, and that takes a lot of discipline, to do that. So it's very impressive. So keep doing what you're doing. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and your enthusiasm for what you're doing, and your creativity with how like the ideas that we were just talking about with the versus the editor thing, like that's fun, and it's fresh because there's a lot of people out there who are doing drum covers. So the challenge is, how do I keep my channel fresh? And I think you're doing a
Yeah.
great job of that. Very forward thinking that way. Let's see here. Um, I never write down what I want to ask. I just kind of go with what with what's happening in the conversation. Um, Super cool stuff though. Hmm. All right. My brain is frozen. It's not my Wi-Fi. Let's see here. Trying to think of where I want to go. Okay, so let's do this. What do you have? What's in store for your channel moving forward for us? What can we look forward to?
Well, I know with the drummer versus editor thing, I'm not just gonna do purposely playing bad. I want to switch it up so there'll be different challenges. So I do have other ideas. Well, I have one other idea at the moment. I still need to think of more, but I have one, and I might as well spoil it because I'm more excited for this one than I am on the purposely playing bad, and it's where we swap roles essentially. So I'm still drumming, but because I mix my audio and then he does the video editing, right?
Okay.
But he's been showing me how to video edit recently. And so I thought, why don't we switch it around? I film my video and then I hand like my MacBook to him and he has to edit it using Logic, which he hasn't used before because I don't know what he uses. He uses something else, but he has to use Logic, so something he hasn't used before. He also doesn't use MacBooks, and I thought that's just gonna wind him up. Right? He
Right.
has to then like mix the audio, fix it all out, right? And then I have to then video edit it because I thought that'd be quite fun because I get to do something different and I might just wind him up on purpose. Like maybe I'll just play bad somewhere just because then he has to edit it and fix it. So that's something that's coming up in the future. I'm also wanting to do more like bass guitar and drum sort of thing. And also, I have another full production, at least one, potentially two, at least by the end of the year. There's one that we're going to start hopefully this week.
Nice.
And it'll be me and my editor again, just because we can. Also, because he can play guitar much better than I can, so he might as well play the guitar. But I'm also going to play guitar because there's two guitars in the song anyway, so that makes sense. And it's going to be a
Nice.
full production, so every play is either me or him, depends. But more singing, so that'll be cool. And I'm hoping they'll sound much cooler than like the stuff I've already done, since I now know how to like mix all these different instruments a bit better now. Because I know I was struggling with the bass guitar for a bit. I had to get strength in my hands, so I had a lot of buzzing, and I've like eradicated that now almost. And so the audio recording is better. I've learned how to mix the bass guitar better now because one of my past bass guitar videos, I hated it because it was the gain was too loud, and so that's all you could hear, and it wasn't mixed very well. But I did Creep recently with the bass guitar, and I've worked out how to not have the gain too high. The only issue I had last time was I had the treble slightly too high. So next time I'm gonna make sure the treble isn't too high. So yeah.
It's always something to learn about, about the process of mixing, whether it's drums or bass or guitar and vocals. Like I'm a hack. I just like play with a bunch of stuff and ask people questions. And then I'm like, oh, you can do that? That's amazing. Let me try that. And then I'll try to see if I can make that work. But that's cool that you're like branching out and trying those different things. And kind of, I like to think of it as being like a well-rounded, musician, not just I'm pigeonholed into my one thing. This is all that I do. So it's neat to see you branching out and doing that kind of thing. I love it. And I'm excited to hear some more of that stuff. So I was like, what? I think I might have commented on one of your videos. You play bass and you play drums and you're singing. I'm like, I'm lucky to do one thing even halfway decently. Never mind two. I did sing once and was like, it was really just for fun and just it's a song that I sing to my wife all the time. When we're in the car, I'll belt it out. And people were generous with their kindness because it wasn't great. What is the best advice you've received about playing?
Um, I think the best advice is always like the motivation people give. It's like to never give up, to keep trying, and then you'll get there one day, sort of thing. Because I struggle a lot of like self-esteem and confidence as it is. I always seem to subconsciously compare myself to other people, which I really shouldn't. And I'm like, but I want to be like them, and I'm not. And it's like when people always say like, hey, you're doing great, you're doing amazing, keep it up, keep going, you'll get there. That like really helps to for myself to not give up. The other good advice I've had is like just like general sort of like setup of my kit, because like if you watch my old videos, I have no idea how I set up the kit like that, but I had my crash cymbal that was like the same height as like my high tom for some reason. It was like really low down. And I cringe every time I look at the old videos. I cringe. I'm like, what is that setup? I'm not too sure how I let myself get away with that one. Surely, even like when I first got the kit, like 1 2 years ago, that like I should have realized that that's definitely not what it should look like. But then someone was like, "Hey, I think you should like angle your toms a bit, raise the cymbals a lot higher, and and that helped because because I had like my playing was like here, and then like it after I did the changed the structure and stuff, it actually my playing did improve, and that was great. The one thing I did do recently though was I realized my you could change the angle of the bass pedals, like the actual beater itself. And like I was trying to work out why my drum teacher's one was like at a 45-degree angle. Mine was like 100. Not that I've measured it out, but yeah, that was quite funny. I was like practicing at the kit, and then I just like looked down at my pedal, and I was like, "You can unscrew that." And I didn't realize that, I changed the angle, and since then my bass drum speed has improved, which also helped with the double bass actually.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at my bass. See if there's anything down there that can help me play better. My goodness. Well, that's cool. Yeah, and it's amazing how something as simple as kind of tom placement and cymbal placement can help you play better because everything's easier to get to. And it's ergonomic is the word. And maybe I worry about that just because I'm older and so my body needs all the help that it can get continuing to hit these things so hard. What advice would you give to somebody starting out on the drums?
I think one advice is to definitely never give up, and also, even if you like want like subconsciously compare yourself to each other, to know that that you shouldn't put your self-worth down, and that if you keep practicing, keep going with it, and add like self-belief in yourself, because self-belief goes a long way. You could practice, but if you don't believe in yourself, you're not really gonna get anywhere. And I realized that like when I started my channel, that if I just like believed in myself that I can play the song and that I can do this, and that posting online, that people will like what I post no matter what I see online, because obviously you're going to get things online, but if you ignore those and listen to like the actual nice people, like our community, right, it actually goes a long way. So I think to never give up, to always believe in yourself, and that no matter what stage of a drummer you are, or just musician in general, that you are a great musician, you are a great drummer, and that you should just keep going.
That's good. That's really good advice. And you said something earlier too about how you have a tendency to compare yourself to other people. I think that's a natural human thing.
Yeah.
We like to look, and I always like to say that wherever we are in our journey, there's always going to be somebody that's been doing it longer or is doing it that we feel is better, and there's going to be somebody that's just starting, and they're looking our way, and so we're all kind of helping each other grow in the
Yeah.
journey, right? And the world has enough of this person's style of drumming. What it needs is your style, right? And
Yeah.
my style, and what we bring to the table. But that's really good. Never give up. And And one of the things I said earlier, you seem to have such a fun time when you're playing, and I think that's so important to anything you do in life is enjoying it. What would your dream drum kit look like?
Cool. So I'd like to eventually have like an acoustic kit, as I only have the drums. I think I'm gonna have to like be biased towards my favorite color, and I said I want like green. That'd definitely be something, you know. Definitely a green kit. Yeah, I think I'm mainly just biased towards the color more than anything else, but I think definitely, you know, good amount toms, good amount of cymbals. I'd like a good ratio between cymbals to tom, because like I don't want too many toms and not enough cymbals, or vice versa. Um, I like to like branch out and use all these different things. Like I'd like to have like a splash, for example, one day. I've only got like the two standard like left tom, right, no, left cymbal, right cymbal, ride, and a hi-hat on my kit. So if I wanted to use anything else, like one of my covers used the splash and I didn't have that, so I had to just like mimic it using the MIDI. That was great. So I'd like that, but I wouldn't want too many like toms or too many cymbals. Because to be honest, I think I primarily just use the same ones. I literally just use my high tom and my floor tom for everything. Like I have two floor toms. One of them doesn't get used that often. I don't really have covers that use them. So yeah, but I think mainly just green.
Great. I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, I'm a visual person too. So like I'll notice what something looks like before I know anything else, you know, about it.
Yeah.
Be like, I think that looks really cool. I want that one. Oh, it's also decent. Well, perfect. Because I bought it, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Well, Alice, you are, like I said, you are doing a great job on your channel. It's exciting to see young people gravitating toward music and learning and growing and not having the I call it the microwave mentality. Like, okay, I bought a drum set.
Yeah.
When am I a rock star? Right? Like they're willing to put in the work and the time to become great at their craft. And I think that's a super neat quality, and it's super cool, like I said, to see you progressing that way. Is there anything else you would like to leave our viewers with before I sign us off?
I'm not too sure. Just, you know, keep watching. I will like make sure that everything I post, you know, variety. I'm hoping to have more variety on my channel now more than ever. So it's not just drum cover after drum cover after drum cover. I know I've been saying that for over a year, and I do have, but I am pushing more to play my other instruments as well as the drums, and I am pushing more to do higher skilled like songs, even just on the kit. Because I know a lot of songs I played that are straightforward, because when I was having exam season, I just really needed songs that were easy to play. But now I don't have that stress anymore. I've been really focusing on like learning songs that have like little tricky bits in it. Like one of the recent songs I did, Just Pretend Bad Omens, had a nice tom section in it. That was quite difficult because like the bass drum and the toms were doing two separate things, and so the coordination really, I had to really focus on that. That took forever to learn, but I want to do more of that. So there's going to be more harder covers, more hopefully exciting, and also more of just different variety of things, including challenges, full productions, different instruments. There will be more singing eventually. You know, I'm always insecure about my voice, but I do want to branch that out there and get better at my singing. So there will definitely be more singing. So yeah, just keep watching.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys, if you haven't already, do head over to Alice's channel. I'll put a link in the description below and in the comment section, so you can head over there and subscribe. You'll be glad that you did. Alice, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit this afternoon. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. You guys, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you next time.